Hello everyone. Today's topic of discussion is trigonometry. As you all know that trigonometry is one of the most important chapter of higher mathematics, okay? So let me go step by step, okay? Step by step about this particular chapter trigonometry. So let me start with the definition first. So what is this trigonometry? First of all, it is the branch of mathematics. We can say that it is a branch of mathematics which deals with the measurement of sides and angles of a triangle. Okay. Now, so we find that what we are going to study in this particular chapter trigonometry. See everyone. So we are finding that it is a branch of mathematics, clear, which deals with what? Measurement of sides, clear, and angles of a triangle. Now when we say triangle, there are several types of triangle. We can divide triangle on the basis of angles as an obtuse angle triangle, where one angle is more than 90 degree. You have a right angle triangle where one angle is exactly 90 degree. You have acute angle triangle where each angle is less than 90 degree. On the basis of sides, if you divide, we have scalene triangle where all the sides are unequal. We have isosceles triangle where two sides are equal. We have equilateral triangle where all the three sides are equal. So when we say sides and angles of a triangle, so we are going to study this particular chapter trigonometry, measurement of sides and angles of a triangle. Now if you see this word trigonometry, if I break this word trigonometry, we find that this word trigonometry has been derived from the Greek word, and that is trigonon and metron. It has been derived from the Greek word trigonon and metron. Metron means measurement, okay, and trigonon means a three-sided figure. Trigonon means a three-sided figure, that is a triangle. Now in this particular topic initially, okay, in the first stage, we are going to study measurement of triangle. Which triangle? A right angle triangle. Now, if we see the right angle triangle, you know that one angle is 90 degree and the other two angles are acute angles, and how these two acute angles are related with each other? They are complementary pair, means their sum is equals to what? 90 degree, that is theta 1 plus theta 2 is equals to what? 90 degree. And this is called complementary angles, means these two are acute angles and they are complementary. Okay, next, number 2. Now we have three sides where in a right angle triangle, the side opposite to 90 degree is termed as hypotenuse, which is denoted with small h, and this is the longest side of all the three sides of a right angle triangle. Now the other two sides are named as perpendicular in base, and perpendicular in base depends on the reference angle using which we are doing measurement. Okay, so suppose if I am taking this as the reference angle, then the side opposite to this angle becomes perpendicular and the other side is the base, and if this is the reference angle, the other side becomes perpendicular and this becomes base. And how is all these three sides are related? They are related by Pythagoras theorem, that is h square is equals to e square plus b square. I repeat, how these three sides are related? They are related by Pythagoras theorem. This relationship of these three sides are given by Pythagoras theorem, that is h square is equals to e square plus b square by Pythagoras theorem. Next. Now for measurement, see, if trigonometry is the branch where we are studying, where we are dealing with the measurement of sides and angles of a triangle, what are different measurement tools? What are different measurement tools in trigonometry? There are 6 trigonometric tools. This I am using this word tools, but actually it is not tools. They are 6 functions. They are trigonometric functions, also called trigonometric ratios. Clear? So there are for the measurement in this particular chapter and in this branch of mathematics, we are studying measurement. So in order to make measurement possible, measurement of what? Measurement of sides and angles of a triangle possible, we have got certain tools. And what are they? They are number 1 sin theta, number 2 cos theta, number 3 tan theta, then we have cosec theta, sec theta and cot theta. So now why I am saying that these are tools? Because using these tools we can measure a right angle triangle. We are right now initially very much specific to a triangle, and that is a right angle triangle. Now in the next stage we will see that triangle, right, it is not necessary that we have to take a right angle triangle. We can measure other triangles also. But initially let us take in the first stage a right angle triangle. Let us see the measurement of right angle triangle. So for measurement of right angle triangles means the sides of a right angle triangle and the angles of a right angle triangle. We have got certain functions. We have got some ratios, trigonometric ratios. We have got trigonometric tools. And what are this? Sine function, that is sine theta, which is the ratio of perpendicular by hypotenuse. We have cos theta. What is cos theta? It is also a ratio. It is a ratio of base by hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. Tan theta is also a ratio. It is a ratio of perpendicular by base of a right angle triangle. Cosec theta is the reciprocal ratio of sin theta, that is h by p. Sec theta is the reciprocal of cos theta, h by b. Cot theta is the reciprocal of cot tan theta, which is b by p. And make sure that in this particular each and every functions we are finding that we have got a relationship of 3 things. What is that? An acute angle of a right angle triangle, either this or this, and the 2 sides. So we are finding that just as we know that, suppose if I find out the ratio between the ages of 2 persons, let's say the age of person is 50, the age of person is 60. What is the ratio then? 50 is to 60, that is 5 is to 6. So like the age of A is to B, A and B is what? 5 by 6. I repeat, the age of 2 persons, A and B, is 5 by 6, exactly same way. What does this function, actually what is the meaning of this function? This function is nothing but the ratio of perpendicular and hypotenuse. Perpendicular and hypotenuse ratio is termed as sine function, and where this angle is the acute angle of a right angle triangle. Means if you take this as an angle, so the side opposite to that will be perpendicular. You know hypotenuse is fixed. If I take at the place of theta this angle, then the side opposite to this angle will be perpendicular. Okay, and hypotenuse is fixed. Similarly, same. So I said initially that it depends on the reference angle. Suppose if I am taking this as a reference angle at the place of theta, for the measurement, if I am taking this angle, then this becomes perpendicular, this side becomes base. If I take this as a reference angle, means for the measurement, if I use this angle, this becomes perpendicular, this becomes base. So we find that each and every function is what? Is nothing but ratio. Ratio of what? 2 sides. And the sides and the 2 sides which we are considering, perpendicular and base depends on the measurement angle which we are considering. Suppose if we are taking sine of this angle, so I explain you how to take perpendicular and base. Now next. Now next part. Now let us if you derive formula which can be derived by using these functions and this relationship between the 3 sides, that is number 1, h square is equals to p square plus b square. Now just note down everyone. Now one more thing let me clear everyone. Before starting this derivation, please make sure that sine theta is not product of sine and theta. It's not algebra. Please mark my word, everyone. Please, if you have doubt in your mind, if you have doubt in class 10 that sine theta is sine into theta, please make sure that this is wrong concept. It is a wrong concept which you are practicing in class 10. So sine theta is not sine into theta. Sine theta is a complete mathematical unit. It is a unit. It's not product of sine and theta. Next, sine theta whole square is sine square theta, not sine square theta square, because if you write sine square theta square means still your concept is not clear. That it means you are what you are doing. You are doing exactly the same as you have done in algebra. That is x into y whole square is x square into y square. So you are doing the same thing here. That is, you are considering sine as x, theta as y. But make sure that sine theta is not sine into theta, but sine theta is a unit in mathematics. Okay? It's not product of two different things. Clear? So this is wrong. This is right thing. Similarly, sine root x whole square is not sine square x. This is wrong. What is the correct one? It is sine square root x. Because if you are squaring root x, it means again you have the same wrong concept in your mind that you have to square sine, means you are considering sine as a different part and a different unit and theta as a different unit. But sine root x is a unit in mathematics. These are not two different things. That if we multiply, we get a function. Nothing like that. Sine root x is a complete thing. And what is sine root x whole square? It is sine square root x. Fine. Now, let us come to the derivation part. Now see. Out of these six functions, we find that sine and cos, tan and sec, cosec and cot, they have got same denominator. What I am doing initially? I am dividing left hand side and right hand side both by h square first. Not by h square, but if I break this, I will get p square by h square plus b square by h square. That is p by h whole square. Means what I have done? This is a total fraction. As I have expressed this total fraction as two simple fractions. That is p square by h square plus b square by h square. We can write this as b by h whole square. Now tell me what is p by h? P by h is how much? It is sine theta. Okay. What is b by h? It is cos theta. So we find that sine square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1. So using this formula we can, for simplifying the trigonometric equations, okay, trigonometric expressions, we can use this identity. Okay, we can use this identity, that is sine square theta plus cos square theta equals to 1, and we can derive two more forms from this, that is 1 minus cos square theta is equals to sine square theta. 1 minus sine square theta equals to cos square theta. Okay. Similarly, by dividing this Pythagoras theorem both sides by b square, okay, by b square, we get sec square theta minus tan square theta equals to 1. This is the second identity. Using this identity, we can write down 1 plus tan square theta equals to sec square theta, and sec square theta minus 1 equals to how much? Tan square theta. Fine, everyone? Similarly, we find that number 3, we know h square is equals to p square plus b square. If we divide this left hand side and right hand side both by p square, we will get cosec square theta minus cot square theta is equals to 1. And from this, we can get two more formulas. What that is 1 plus cot square theta equals to cosec square theta. These are not two new formulas, but derived from the same identity. Okay. Similarly, cosec square theta minus 1 equals to how much? Cot square theta. Clear? Now next. So what we have done till now is we have derived these three identities, trigonometric identities. Now why are these called identities? Why are these three, 1, 2, 3 called identities? Because this is true. Sine square theta plus cos square theta equals to 1 is true for any real values of theta. It is not true just for sine square 30 degree plus cos square 30 degree. It is not that sine square 30 degree plus cos square 30 degree is equals to 1. It is not just that sine square 60 degree plus cos square 60 degree is equal to 1. It holds true sine square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1 sec square theta minus tan square theta is equals to 1, and similarly the third one is equals to 1 for any values of theta, for any real values of theta. Make sure everyone. Is this clear everyone? Depending on the domain also, make sure that, and I'm not discussing this part domain in range right now because there are, we will discuss it later on, okay? So make sure that this is called trigonometric identities, because it is true for not few values of theta, but for all values of theta lying in this domain. Okay, next. Now next, let us derive few more formulas. So I'm not explaining you the domain and range part of this trigonometric functions right now. I'll come to the next. I'll discuss this part in the next stage. Okay. Now the second formula. Now as we all know that theta 1 plus theta 2 equals to 90 degree. Let's take a triangle, right angle triangle, and mark this, name this as ABC. Suppose if I take this angle as theta, obviously the other angle will be what? 90 degree minus theta. Now see everyone. Suppose if I ask you sine theta, means sine of which angle? We read this as sine of theta or sine theta, anything. Don't write sine into theta, okay? So suppose sine of this angle we are measuring, okay? Now tell me which two sides. This sine theta represents the ratio of which two sides? As this is theta, this side becomes perpendicular and this becomes hypotenuse. Clear? Suppose if I ask you what is cos 90 minus theta, I'm taking for the measurement part is which one angle out of the two. For the second part I'm taking this angle. So the side opposite to this angle will be perpendicular and this will be base. You know that cos is the ratio of base by hypotenuse. Base by hypotenuse. Now what we are finding, sine of this angle, cos of this angle, where both are what? Complementary pair. Clear? Where both the angles are what? Complementary of each other, we are finding that their values, their ratio, that is AB by AC, is same in both the case. So can I say that sine of theta is equals to cos of complementary of this angle? What is complementary of this angle? 90 minus theta. Fine everyone? Similarly, if you find out cos theta, and if you check with its complementary angle, sine 90 minus theta, you will find that the ratio will be what? Same. Similarly, we have tan theta equals to cot 90 minus theta. You can derive the same way. Clear? And number 3. And same way we can say that cot theta equals to tan of 90 minus theta. Number 3. Sec theta equals to cosec of 90 minus theta. And cosec theta equals to sec of 90 minus theta. Fine everyone? Okay. So we have derived the relationship between their angles. Okay, that if suppose two angles are complementary, let's take 40 and 50, then sine of 40, cos of 50 will be what? Equal. The sine of 40 ratio, cos of 50's ratio, both will be what? Equal. Is this okay everyone? Similarly for tan theta and cot theta, we find that tan theta, that is tan 30, and cot of, what is complementary of 30? 60. Both will be same. Like suppose if I take tan 10 degree, tell me it is equals to cot of how much? What is complementary of 10 degree? It is 80 degree. This is clear everyone? Now, let us come to the third part. See, these things you have already studied in your class 10, okay? So, let me now move ahead with the third part. These things in today's class, the things which we are studying, these things already you have studied in class 10. Just it is in detail, okay? Detail manner, like I'm deriving the formulas, I'm showing you, okay, everything properly. Now, number 3. We find that sine theta equals to 1 by sine theta equals to 1 by cosec theta. You have seen here that if sine theta is p by h, what is cosec theta? It is h by p. So that's why sine theta equals to 1 by cosec theta and cosec theta equals to 1 by sine theta. Number 2, cos theta equals to 1 by sec theta, and similarly sec theta equals to 1 by cos theta. Number 3, tan theta equals to 1 by cot theta. Similarly, cot theta equals to 1 by tan theta. Number 4, so these things you have already studied. tan theta equals to p by b, sorry, tan theta equals to sin theta by cos theta. That is, if you divide sin theta and cos theta, the ratio of sin theta and cos theta, you find that you will get what? Tan theta. Just check once. If you divide, you will get what? P by b. And similarly, cot theta equals to cos theta by sin theta. Fine, everyone? Now, the last part, okay, of this video, of this lecture, this introduction part of trigonometry is, so I have just kept things very simple. I am not explaining in this video what is domain, what is range of trigonometric functions. Those things I will come to in the next stage. Now the last part, that is number 4. Now see, suppose if I divide the circle, suppose if I divide the whole circle into 4 quadrants, and if I start from this point, and if I move anti-clockwise direction, we find that this is the first quadrant. First quadrant, what is the range of first quadrant? I said you that if I divide a circle into 4 equal quadrants, 4 equal parts, okay, then if I start from this point, we find that if I start from this line and if I move anti-clockwise direction, we find that this is first quadrant and the range of first quadrant is 0 to 90. In this quadrant, all the functions are positive. All means there are total 6 functions in trigonometry. They are all positive if the angle is lying in this range, okay. So the range of second quadrant is, the range of the second quadrant is 90 to 180, that is, this is 0 to 90, 90 to 180. In second quadrant, sine and cosec function, these two functions are positive. Third quadrant, the range is 180 to 270. And in this quadrant, tan function and chord functions are positive. In the fourth quadrant, the range is 270 to 360. And in this quadrant, sec function and cos function, these two functions are positive. Fine, everyone? Now we can write this range interval in radian form also. That is, if you convert 0 degree into radian, you multiply pi by 180, that is 0. If you convert 90 degree into radian form, we get pi by 2. Similarly, we have, if you convert this into radian form, we have pi by 2, comma, 2 pi, not comma, 2 pi. Then we have third quadrant, that is pi to 3 pi by 2. If you convert in radian, you will get this, okay. In the fourth quadrant, we have 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi. It means that, suppose if I take an angle, let's take 95 degree, okay. Now 95 degree is lying in which quadrant? It is lying between 90 to 180, that is second quadrant. So in second quadrant, the value of sine function and the value of cosine function will give you a positive result. Rest all functions, if I ask you that what is the value of cos 95, your answer is negative. If I ask you what is sec 95 degree, your answer is negative. Because in second quadrant, sec and cosec is positive, rest all functions are negative. In the third quadrant, tan and cot is positive, rest all functions are negative, which means, suppose if I take 210 degree and if I ask you sine, cos, tan, sec, cosec and cot, if I ask you, tell me out of these 6 functions, sec of sine of 210 degree will be what? Positive or negative? It will be negative. Why? Because in the third quadrant, tan and except for tan and cot, rest all functions are negative. And cos of 210 is negative. Tan of 210 is positive. Why? Because in the third quadrant, as this angle is lying between 180 to 270, which is third quadrant, tan is positive. Sec is negative. Clear? Because this is the quadrant of tan and cot. Rest all functions are negative. Cosec 210 negative. Cot 210 not negative, positive. Okay? So I hope you understood this part. Now, see, in order to learn two formulas which you have already seen in class 10, that is sin theta equals to p by h, cos theta equals to b by h, and tan theta equals to p by b. We have mnemonics. Okay, what is that? Some people have curly brown hair, turns permanently black. Okay. So P stands sum. So S stands for sine, P stands for perpendicular, H stands for hypotenuse, C stands for cos, B stands for base, S stands for hair, T stands for tan, T stands for perpendicular, and B stands for base. Exactly same way you can remember this formula by simple mnemonics, that is all add sugar to coffee. That is A stands for all, S stands for sugar, S stands for sine, TO2, T stands for tan, coffee, C stands for cos. And the reciprocal of its, because you know that sine theta, if it is minus half, obviously cosec theta will be what? Minus 2. Just the reciprocal one. Am I correct? That's why sine and its reciprocal is positive in this quadrant. And I mean, if it is positive, if suppose theta is lying between 90 to 180, so for this it is positive. And suppose if theta is lying in third quadrant, if it is negative for sine and cosec. Clear everyone? Similarly, it is negative for if theta is lying in third quadrant and if the value of cos theta is suppose minus root 3 by 2, let's say, then the value of sec theta will be what? Just the reciprocal of this, that is minus 2 by root 3. So we find that in the second quadrant, sine and its reciprocal, because how both the functions are related, the ratios are reciprocal. That's why in second quadrant, if sine is positive, cosec has to be positive. In third quadrant, if tan is positive, cot has to be positive. If in the second quadrant the value of cos function is negative, obviously the value of sec function will be also negative. Why? Because the relationship between sine cosec, tan cot, cos sec is what? The ratios are reciprocal of each other. That's why. So we find that and we can remember by this simple mnemonics: add sugar to coffee, all school to college. Sorry, after school to college, after school to college. Nowadays it has changed, and after school to city center for CBT students. Okay. Now, so this way I have completed today's class. I am completing today's class. Today's class, what I have done, I have just introduced about what is trigonometry and nothing else. Okay. We have just introduced about this particular topic, this particular word, that is trigonometry. What is trigonometry? Okay, so in the next stage, in the next class, the next lecture, I'll be moving ahead, okay, with few more things and the derivation. So everyone, thank you for today's topic. Everyone, you can pause this, okay, and if you have doubt, you can just contact me. Thank you.